Hello, welcome back to English Valley Cafe. I'm Anne. Do you feel frustrated because you're speaking English sounding like a robot? It's not natural. It doesn't sound very interesting. What can you do? We're going to talk about that today. So, a few weeks ago, I got a question from a viewer saying that I'm able to pronounce the sounds in English. I'm able to do linking and reductions, but I still sound like a robot when I read or when I speak English. And what can I do? So today in this video, I'm going to explore this area, how you can speak English more naturally, or how you can read and not sound like a robot, sound more natural and interesting. All right, so if this is something that you're struggling with, make sure you watch this video and make sure you stay till the end of this video, because the last tip that I'm going to share here is the key to being able to speak English more naturally, or to read an English text more naturally. Now in this video, I'm going to go over some of the key elements that I think are important to help you sound more natural or read and speak English more naturally. But without really directly working with you and talking with you, I'm not able to really pinpoint, what is it that you're not doing correctly and that you're sounding like a robot. But I hope that all the tips that I offer in this video will help some of you out there who are struggling to sound more natural. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is that if you are a beginner student, it's okay if you feel unnatural or if you feel weird, uncomfortable, kind of fake speaking English, because it's normal. You're learning a new sound, a sound that you don't have in your native language. And so at the beginning, your muscles here, your tongue, you're trying to get used to speaking this English sound, whether it be a R or a TH or L sound. It's okay to feel unnatural, and that is part of the learning process, actually. So if you feel like, I just don't feel like myself when I speak English, and you're a beginner, don't worry about it. With more practice, it'll come to you more naturally. Now, if you're a little bit more advanced, you're able to pronounce the words correctly, you're doing linking and reductions, but you still feel like you sound like a robot. The first thing to ask yourself is, are you doing these reductions? Are you saying these reductions correctly? Are you linking the words correctly? So take, for example, I hear a lot of English learners when they do the reduction, like want to is wanna. But I hear students say, I wanna try, for example. I wanna try. It's not wanna, but wanna. I wanna try. I wanna try. Okay, so it's wanna. I wanna try. Also, I hear students say, I gonna. Okay, I gonna go. It's not gonna, but gonna. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. So make sure that you are using the reductions, but also that you are using it correctly, or you're pronouncing it correctly. Another thing is linking. So if you are linking, that's wonderful, but make sure that you are linking the words correctly. So in English, usually we'll link a lot of the unimportant words or the function words like prepositions or determiners or articles. So for example, that's one of a kind. That's one of a kind. So here I'm linking of, okay, that's one of a. I'm linking of, and actually one of a, one of a. So make sure that you're linking the words correctly, that you're not linking words that you're not supposed to link. So that's one of a kind. Another example, the bag is in the car. So here we're going to reduce the sound of the, okay, the. And then we're going to link is in the, okay, because all these are the preposition and the to be verb, and these are not important. So we're going to reduce that sound. Is in the, is in the. So the bag is in the car, is in the car. So again, go back and make sure that yes, you are reducing sounds, you're linking words and sounds together, but make sure that you're doing it correctly. The next tip to sound more natural is make sure that you pause, you stop after a phrase or sentence. And this is especially true if you are reading a text. And oftentimes I hear English learners goes, this is without pausing. And when you pause, it gives the listener a break to kind of digest or understand what you're trying to say. And in English, pausing is letting the listener know that this is an idea or this is a concept here. Like it'll help you to convey the message more clearly. So let's take, for example, this sentence right here. If I read it with no pause, it's going to sound really weird, like a robot. So if I say, John's out of the office today, but he'll be in tomorrow. Would you like to leave a message in his voicemail? Okay, no pause at all. And it makes the listener trying to understand your message like, huh? What did you just say? So make sure you pause after a comma, after a question mark, after a period. So if you were to say this more naturally, it would sound like this. John's out of the office today. Pause. But he'll be in tomorrow. Pause. Would you like to leave a message in his voicemail? Okay, so here, notice that I pause after the comma, okay, and I add pause after the period. So notice the difference here when I did the pause. It actually makes the idea more clear. It helps the listener to listen and actually understand what I'm talking about. And also when I read it, it didn't sound like I was like a robot reading things without even pausing after a period, right? So pausing is really important. And this is true even when you are speaking, okay? After like an idea, you want to pause for 1 or 2 seconds and then go on. And tip number 4 to speak English more naturally is to ask yourself, are you stressing the words in the sentence correctly? So as you know that when you're speaking English in a sentence, there are certain words that are important. We want to make sure the listener hears this. So we'll stress those words. And those words are usually longer, they're higher in pitch, and these words are what we call the content words. So these are the words that carry the meaning. We want to make sure that the other person hears this. So they're usually like nouns or verbs, adjectives, adverbs. Now to see what I'm talking about, let's look at this example sentence here. I'm going to read it 2 times. The first time I'm going to read every single word the same with no stress. And then the second time I will stress some words. So the first one, I'll talk to you later. The second time, the natural way, I'll talk to you later. Notice the difference here. In the second time when I said it, I stressed certain words, right? Can you hear which word I stressed? I'll talk to you later. I stressed the word talk and later, right? Because those are the important words in this sentence. And I want to make sure that the other person hears this. So I'll talk to you later. Okay, say it with me. I'll talk to you. Okay, so here to you, it's not that important. So I'm going to kind of reduce that to you, to you. I'll talk to you later. Okay, so when I say talk, I'm stressing it. So notice that the vowel sound was a little bit longer. Talk. And I stressed it. My pitch also went up, right? Later, later. So here again, that vowel sound, lay, I kind of stretch it out a little bit. It was longer. Later. Okay, so I'll talk to you later. Okay, I can even reduce it even more and say, I'll talk to you later, right? To ya. I'll talk to ya later. So notice that I'm stressing talk and later, but the other words are like what we said earlier. They're not the important words. So I'm shrinking it or I'm reducing it to ya. And I even made the contraction, I will to I'll. All right, tip number 5. Are you ready? I think this is the most important thing to sounding more natural when you're speaking English. I think it's more important than trying to understand how to pronounce the R sound or the TH sound or the RL sound. This is the key right here, and that is intonation. Yes, intonation. So intonation is the high pitch, the low pitch when you're speaking English. This is like the melody in English, right? And I always tell my students that when you're speaking English, you kind of have to think of it as like when you're singing, okay? When you're speaking English, it's like when you're singing. There's the high note and the low note, the high pitch, the low pitch. And this is what makes English sound more natural when you're speaking. Let's look at the sentence and you'll know what I'm talking about. Our flight is tomorrow night. Okay, I'm going to say it one more time. I want you to listen and see where I go up and I come down. Okay, our flight is tomorrow night. So do you notice that when I was saying the sentence, my pitch went up, down, up, down, up, down. And this is what intonation is all about. So our flight, our pitch goes up, comes down, tomorrow night. Okay, and then at the end, it comes down. So this is the rising and falling intonation. If you want to know a little bit more about the patterns, like when to use rising or falling intonation, I believe a couple weeks ago I made 2 videos about falling and rising intonation, and I'll leave the link down in the description below and you can check that out if you want a little bit more practice on that. Now, I know that for many English learners, especially if your native language doesn't have like word stress and intonation, it's really difficult to understand when or how to stress the word or use the intonation. So my recommendation number 1 is to listen to music and sing along with the music. And I think this is, in my opinion, this is one of the most effective ways to practice your intonation and even word stress. Now, my second recommendation is to listen and speak. And this is really powerful if you do it correctly. So what you can do is take like a podcast or a video and just listen to it the first time. Open up your ears and really listen to the speaker, how they use the rising and falling intonation, where they're stressing the words, okay? And just listen carefully. Just listen. You don't have to do anything else. The second time around, listen to it again, but stop after every sentence, all right? And after every sentence, they say the sentence, pause it, and then after 2 seconds, try to say the sentence out loud to yourself, okay? So, for example, let's take the sentence, our flight is tomorrow night. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say it. I want you to just listen and then pause for 2 seconds after you hear me say it, and then you say it out loud. All right, so for example, our flight is tomorrow night. Okay, pause. Okay, try to say it. Our flight is tomorrow. Good. So just like that, you can take a long text or short text. I would recommend like a short text and just do this kind of exercise. And this will definitely help you to get the feel for that pitch, the word stress, and then the rhythm in English. I hope you find these tips useful. Let me know down in the comments if there's other ways that you do to help you speak English more naturally. And also, let me know down in the comments, where are you from? What is your native language? And if you have a particular struggle to speak English more naturally, or if there's a particular sound that you're having trouble with, let me know down in the comments and I will try my best to help you and address your questions. If you find this video useful, please share it with a friend who is struggling to speak English more naturally. And if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and tap on the bell for notifications. And that's it for this video. I will see you back here next week for a new lesson. Bye.